Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Lesson 2.6, subtract whole numbers and decimals. This is take like 3,444 for me, but we're going to get it done this time. I have a good feeling about it. Here we go. So, write the lesson number at the top, please, of your math notebook, and then write down I can subtract whole numbers and decimals to hundredths, pause if necessary. So we'll start with the beginning. Ungrouping. That's known as borrowing, because that's the only way I ever learned it. Borrowing, but we're going to run with it. Here we go. Whole numbers. Let's look at these two problems. 4,000 minus 164 is where we will start today. The first thing I notice as I go across here, 0 can't take away 4, 0 can't take away 6, 0 can't take away 1. I got a whole lot of borrowing to do, okay? So I'm going to go all the way over to the thousands place. I'm going to borrow 1, okay? Borrow 1,000, I end up with 3,000. I'm going to take the 1,000 I borrowed, and I'm going to turn that into 10 hundredths, okay? So there's my 10 hundredths. I'm going to borrow 100, leaving me 900. And that's going to give me 10 tens. I'm going to borrow 10. That leaves me with 9 tens. And I'm going to turn that 10 I borrowed into 10 ones. Hey, I can subtract now. Whoop! Here we go. 10 take away 4 is 6. 9 take away 6 is 3. 10 take away 1 is 8, comma, 3. 3,836. Piece of cake. And if I'm going too fast, just pause and look at what I did and see if you can figure it out. You can always rewind. Here we go. Next number. 8 take away 9. No. 2 take away 3. Nope. 5 take away 7. Nah. Sorry, still can't do it. Here we go. So I got to go all the way out to the thousands again. I'm going to borrow 1 from my 3,000. I'm going to turn that into 2,000. I'm going to take the one I borrowed and turn it into 10 hundredths. Now, I already had 500 there. That's why you see 15 there. 10 hundredths, 5 hundredths, that's 15 hundredths. Borrow 1, that's 14. Okay, I've got 1,400. I take the one I borrowed. I'm going to turn it into 10 tenths. I already have 2 tens there. So now I have a total of 12 for the 10 I borrowed. And I borrow again. That leaves me with 11 tens. And then I'm going to take the 1 10 I borrowed, turn it into 10 ones. And then I'm going to make that into 18. Now I can subtract. 18 take away 9 is 9. 11 take away 3 is 8. 14 take away 7 is 7. Throw in the comma. 2,789. Now let's look at decimals real quick. We're going to do that ungrouping or borrowing. Okay. Same rules apply, ladies and gentlemen. The big thing you have to remember when you're dealing with decimals is when you have problems like this one here, you have to remember that 6 is a whole number. I always think money is so much easier. 6, what would that be in money? Oh, that'd be $6, okay? So let me write that down, $6, okay? $6 minus $1.56. Well, I'm going to have to do some borrowing here because I've got zeros up here and they cannot, so I'm going to go over to my dollars place. So I've got $6 becoming $5. I'm going to take the dollar I borrowed and turn it into 10 dimes. I'm going to take one of those 10 dimes and I'm going to turn it into 10 pennies. Now I can subtract. 10 take away 6 is 4. 9 take away 5 is 4. Decimal points. 5 take away 1, 4. Next problem. $8.24 minus $3.57. I know it doesn't say dollars, but I don't care because it's easier for me to think of. Okay? So when I look at these, can't do it. Can't do it. I'm going to have to borrow. Okay. So I'm going to borrow from my dollars, make that $7, turn it into dimes. 10 dimes plus the 2 dimes I have is 12 dimes. I'm going to borrow a dime, leaving me 11. I'm going to take my 10 pennies and add it to my 4 pennies. That's 14 pennies. Now I'm going to subtract. 14 take away 7 is 7. 11 take away 5 is 6. Put in the decimal point. 7 take away 3 is 4. And we is good to go. All right, here we go. Now, quick review on fact families. These should look very familiar with you. These break apart drawings, we did them in 4th grade. Okay. So, here's the question. What 4 equations relate to each of these break-apart drawings? And if you're looking at me going, I don't know what you're talking about, man. That's okay. Just think of these words. Fact families, okay? 2 addition, 2 subtraction facts, okay? So we can take these 2 numbers to equal our total. 164 plus 3,836 equals 4,000, or I can flip it. 3,836 plus 164 equals 4,000. Can do it as subtraction, but I have to start with the number at the top of the break-apart drawing this time. 4,000 minus 164 equals 3,836. And again, starting with 4,000, I can just flip the other numbers around. It's all going to work together. That's the whole fact family thing, okay? Decimal number, same thing, money. Get $8.24. I can do $3.57 plus $4.67 equals $8.24, okay? Or I can flip them. Okay, you can do the same with subtraction, starting with $8.24 minus $3.57 equals $4.67, or I can flip those. Okay, they work together. Now, this will really test your brain. Do you remember what we call, we can flip these addition problems and it doesn't matter? Do you remember the name of that property? Think way back to 4th grade. You got it? It's called the commutative property of addition. It says I can flip those addends, those numbers I'm adding together, and it will not affect the sum. Okay? Just lock that away in your brain. All right. I want to give you some sample problems to be careful with. I don't need you to do these, but I just really need you to watch out for these. Okay? Here I've got 4 minus 35 hundredths. 4 is a whole number. Okay? You cannot put it under decimals or turn it into a decimal. It'd be like trying to take 4 whole pies and say, okay, I only have 1/4 of a pie. No, you don't. You have 4 pies, okay? So when you stack these, you need to think money. This is $4 minus 35 cents. I'm going to put my 4 over the top, and I'm going to put that decimal in those 2 zeros because this 4 is in the ones place either way. Okay, I obviously have to borrow. I've got 2 zeros here, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn that into $3. I'm going to use my 10 dimes that I borrowed. I'm going to take one of those, leaving me 9. Got my 10 pennies. I can subtract. 10 take away 5 is 5. 9 take away 3 is 6. Decimal point 3, $3.65. Okay. I've got 145 minus 2 and 33 hundredths. I like money. Okay. $145 minus $2.33. I'll set that up. Make sure to put my decimal point in my 2 zeros. I noticed right away here, not happening. Okay. I need to borrow. Now, you don't have to go. I got some kids like want to go all the way out here. You don't have to do that, okay? 5 is plenty large. Even after I borrow 1, there'll still be enough there to take away 2. So I'm going to borrow 1 from the 5. Make that into 4 ones. Give me my 10 dimes. I'm going to borrow one of those and make it into 10 pennies. 10 take away 3 is 7. 9 take away 3 is 6. Decimal point. 4 take away 2 is 2. Please don't stop here. I got kids doing this too. Please don't do that, okay? If you know that's you, say, okay, I got to catch myself. You can do it. I know you can, okay? Look, you still got a 4 in the tens place and a 1 in the hundreds place, $142.67, okay? All right, let's look at the last one here before we get into your practice problems. Okay, I have kids that'll take this problem and they'll just subtract this and put 6 down there. Don't do that, okay? Here's why. Because we can put a 0 there and make them the same length. 0 can't take away 6. When you see that space there, you got to think there's nothing there. That doesn't mean, oh, I can just subtract those. No, okay? It means you got to put that 0 there and say, oh, I have to borrow. I can't do it otherwise, okay? So here we go. I'm going to borrow 1 from my dimes. Leaves me a dime. Give me my 10 pennies. I can subtract. 10 take away 6 is 4. 1 take away 0 is 0. Put in the decimal. 5 take away 3 is 2. So I get $22.14 or 22 and 14 hundredths. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your practice problems, okay? You need to subtract and remember to stack the problems and line up the decimal points. If it doesn't have a decimal point, you can put the decimal at the far end, the right end of the number, and it doesn't change its value. Then just add those zeros to make it the same length, and you will be good to go. And we will see you in class soon.